It's this device right here and the quick thinking of students and faculty that saved the life of Alfred Catula.
Reaction to the United States Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade has been mixed. As you can see behind me, a large group has gathered on the Capitol steps to voice their disagreement with the decision. Howell Public Schools' mobile library is up and rolling for the summer. And check this out. They actually have the book series that made me want to become a reporter. Now, school officials tell me this is an awesome way for area kids to keep up on their summer reading. There are only 4 Hispanic members currently serving in the legislature. Y los miembros dime que ellos quieren más representación y participación de sus comunidades en el gobierno de Michigan. These numbers will be changing. Check out this right here. Only 10% of the precincts are reporting right now. So that means there's a whole lot more votes to come in. You'll see this map change a whole lot. Critical race theory is not being taught in Michigan. There are no plans to have it taught in Michigan, according to the Michigan Department of Education. So how would you, as governor, guide schools to teach about diverse populations, race, and racism here in Michigan? Wednesday marks the last day of preliminary examinations for the second group of alleged fake electors, but a ruling in this case could still be months away. Political work doesn't just happen here in government offices. Social media has made it easier to connect with lawmakers online, but it's also gotten easier to harass and even threaten politicians here for the work that they do here.
I can't comment on it too much, but they've commented on my husband, they've commented on my children, and I keep as much as my family out of this. This is a different world to me. This is my career. I'm here to be a voice for my constituents.
It's not just hate about policy positions either. Even when someone seems to be agitated about policy, it tends to always end up going back to appearance and whether or not someone finds me sexually attractive. Data from the Institute for Strategic Dialogue found that 15% of the messages directed at women lawmakers were abusive. For men, it was only about 5%. Not to mention, women were more likely to receive harassing messages about their appearance and competence. For men, abusive messages mostly stuck to their policy platforms. Bahutsky tells me she tries to make sure the messages don't faze her. I think generally ignoring it is the best policy. It's difficult. I am not always able to follow my own advice. Both lawmakers tell me that besides true threats of violence, which they have both experienced, it's important that people be allowed to say what they want to say.
Is there something that you feel like the government, that social media platforms could do to kind of prevent this?
I don't think they should. I think that, it's protected under our First Amendment. Should you be nicer? Sure. Do you have the right to say it? Absolutely.
Reporting in Lansing, I'm Elle Meyers, CBS News Detroit.
For months, we've been hearing about a so-called red wave, the idea that Republicans across the country and right here at home will easily win their elections and unseat Democrats. But one expert I talked to says that red wave is looking pretty purple.
Congressional elections do tend to go in partisan waves. That is, one side tends to gain in each election cycle. And the long-running pattern is that the midterm election tends to go against the party of the president.
Think of politics like a pendulum, swinging from left to right. In presidential terms, in 2016, it swung from the left with President Barack Obama to the right with President Donald Trump, then back again when President Joe Biden was elected 4 years later.
In particular, the first midterm of a new president is usually associated with losses for that party's president.
Which basically means we tend to see more elected officials from the opposing party winning elections in the midterms. And that happens at the state level too. If a governor is performing really well, people running in lower races might receive a little bump for being in the same political party. But that's not always the case. And this year, it's looking a little different.
The abortion decision by the Supreme Court is the largest policy change from the last 2 years. So if you believe that midterms are a reaction against the policy of the incumbent party, then a normal factor that would help the out of power party is actually hurting them.
Grossman tells me other factors like the high rates of inflation and even crime are important factors influencing that pendulum. Here in Michigan, the issue of abortion has been deeply important and is no doubt influencing the race. Governor Whitmer has been a staunch supporter of abortion rights, and Tudor Dixon, her Republican counterpart, has been vocally anti-abortion with no exceptions.
It's very clear that Tudor Dixon has been outspent and Republicans have been outspent in this election. We're still very confident we'll be able to get what we need at the end of the day and ensure that Republicans win.
A poll conducted by the Detroit News and WDIV-TV shows Whitmer with a 17-point lead over Dixon with just 5 weeks before the election. But trends are made to be bucked, and one thing these two do agree upon:
it's looking more purplish than it was last year.
No race is expected to be easy in Michigan. It's a purple state after all.
We'll have to wait until after the election to find out if those trends hold true. For now, I'm your senior political reporter, Elle Meyers, Fox 47 News.